So it's been a year since I bought my Porsche GT3, and now I come upon that time where I start to think, should I trade it in for a GT3 RS? So just like watches, I like to make this purchase kind of like an investment. So I'm upon that time where I'm wondering what's gonna happen with the market with the current GT3 991.1 and whether I should hold on to it much longer or perhaps flip it and get into something that might hold on a bit better. Don't get me wrong, guys. I absolutely love my car. I love the spec on it, every detail about it. I love the way it rides. I love the way it sounds. But just like a watch, I don't want to hold it too long if perhaps a new model came out that might soften the market on that one up. And if my money's gonna be more secure on the RS version of my car, then maybe that's the right move. Sure, I wouldn't mind getting a GT2 RS, but let's just face it, right now is not the right moment. And for about $400,000, I would much rather have a Ferrari. I think this is something that's a little bit more better choice for my current situation. So my friends at the Experience Auto Group, which also own Ferrari of Fort Lauderdale, were nice enough to let me borrow one for the weekend to test it out and see if I really liked it, being that I've never even test drove one before. Now that for me is very important because I need to test drive the car. Maybe I don't even like it. Maybe there's not even that much extra to get out of it. I mean, one thing is for sure. When you look at this car, it's bigger, it's wider, and aesthetically, it just looks nasty compared to the standard GT3. So let's go over some of the differences between mine and the RS. The front bumper is almost exactly the same. The chin spoiler is a bit fatter for more downforce. Front cap, including the hood and the fenders, are carbon fiber. These vents right here cause 30% more downforce on the front of the car. The car actually has a wider track, so the wheels are farther out apart, so it's a wider car as a whole. Wheels are the same size as far as size, but the width a lot fatter. Now, the roof is also magnesium to cut down the weight. And I like how it has this form right here in the middle that continues on the hood. All that for me are just aesthetics, but it makes a big difference as the way that the car looks. Side skirts are almost identical to mine. When you get to the back, you got these things right here. Now, usually these come on a turbo. This is where the intakes are for the engine. But on this model, they decided to add this so that it actually forces a little bit more air into the engine. Back tires are massive. 325s in the back, they're huge. Actually the same dimensions as a 918 Spider. I love that, and that for me is almost the selling point of this entire car. How about that wing? I mean, it's just massive and in your face. But to me, it doesn't look like it just doesn't belong there. I feel like this car doesn't look right without this wing. Tires are Michelin Sport Cup 2s, just like mine, just obviously fatter. The brakes, carbon ceramic. That makes a heck of a difference on this car. I mean, you can't believe it. Yeah, I get it. Some guys say they don't like it, it's a pain in the ass, but when you drive, you just touch the brake and it's a lot better. Engine on the RS is a 4.0, which is 2 points higher than my 3.8 on mine, but it makes a world of difference. Only revs to 8,800 as opposed to 9,000, but for me, I can't even tell the difference. I think this engine is perfect. Wing is carbon fiber also. I love it, man. I'm telling you, it's beautiful. Check this out. Carbon fiber hood. Crazy part is that it has so many parts to make it lighter, but the car is bigger and has more stuff, but it still is 80 pounds lighter than my car. So let's take it for a ride and see what the hype is all about. So now that I'm finally test driving the GT3 RS, one of the first things that I noticed is that when I got inside the car, I was actually asking my camera guy if he felt the same thing, but I wasn't sure if the inside was bigger or if it's just me. I think it might just be like mental because the car is actually bigger. It's wider, taller than my current GT3. But At first I thought maybe it was more spacious, but I think it's just mental. I think it's exactly the same size. So I've had the chance to drive before a GT2 RS and also a GT3 RS, but of the previous body style, the 997. That one's a lot of fun, completely different car. So it's the first time I drive this car, and I'm trying to see pretty much, is it that much of a difference that it makes it worth the extra price? Or is it just aesthetics on the outside? So the first thing that I realized right off the bat is, yes, of course, the engine sounds different. I feel like mine, revving at 9,000, being the 3.8, it just screams a lot more. This one feels a bit more throaty, more of like an induction sound, and I feel that there's more power like mid-range. I don't know. I feel like mine's got that crazy power, but it's almost more on the top end, whereas this one, all through it, it's got that punch. Another thing is that the PDK on this one shifts a lot faster. I'm talking about, mine was fast already. This is a lot faster. I don't know if it's the short throw of this exact lever. Maybe it's just because it's so minute. Mine used to travel, I would say, a good 1/4 inch for it to click. This is literally like a 1/16 is what it feels like, and it clicks the gear. So the gear changes are a lot faster. I haven't been able to yet drive it to see the handling, but so far, those are like the instant things that I realized. Yeah, definitely more mid-range power. Definitely, that's what it is. And I feel like that's what I'm gonna use more, because in reality, I'm not always trying to redline my car all the way at 9,000. So I kind of feel like I could benefit more from that mid-range power with the 4.0 that comes on this car. Steering wheel feels a bit more heavier, you know, because it's got the wider tires in the front. It's got 265s in the front, but there's not much difference on the way that the car handles. They're very, very precise. That's what I would say, that they both feel very precise. And if anything, I would say that this feels a little bit more like planted, you know? I mean, I guess it's obvious because it's a lot wider, but it just feels, it doesn't feel tighter. They both feel equally tight, but it does feel more planted. So I don't know, so far I like it. When I drove the GT2 RS, it was almost way too smooth. Like, I felt like I lost that analog feel. You know, if you ever get the chance to drive a GT3 and then you drive a Turbo S, you'll realize that the GT3 is a lot more analog. Like, you can feel all the vibrations, you feel everything, the engine vibrating at high RPMs, you feel every single thing, feedback from the pedals, steering wheel, and the seat of the car. Whereas the Turbo is kind of more like Cadillac-ish, in my opinion. And that's what I felt when I drove the GT2 RS. So I was worried that this car was gonna lose that fun factor that I get out of my current GT3. Yeah, I would definitely have to put an exhaust on mine. Like, this has an exhaust, but I think it's kind of like a just kidding exhaust, you know? It's not from the cat back. Like, I'd have to do the muffler delete on my, you know, just like I have on my car. That's the one thing that it's a must. I mean, thank God that this one has an exhaust so I can get an idea of what it sounds like, because like stock is not an option for me. Now, there's one thing that I'm a little bit disappointed on, and is that this particular car that I'm test driving has the 18-way sport comfort seats. You know, these are the same seats that I have on my GT3, which is what I wanted. But for this particular car, being the RS, I kind of would rather have the racing buckets. Being stiff and all, I just think it completes the whole look. So I kind of wanted to test drive it with those seats to see if it was too hard or unbearable. Some people will complain about it. You know, they think they like it, but then they drive the car for 500 miles and then they realize they're not about that life. So that's the only thing that I wanted to kind of try out, is I wanted to get the full experience with this model with those seats to be able to really determine. Very comfortable with these seats, same ones I have, because they're comfortable seats. But I guess I'll just have to test drive another one. This was really more, I guess, to see the engine, the feel of the car, and stuff like that. So as far as the spec is concerned, I'm not sure if this exact car is the one for me. I know that the guys at the Experience Auto Group and Ferrari of Lauderdale can find the exact one that I want. The spec is important. You know, it's gonna be kind of hard to beat the spec that I have on my current GT3, being white with the black wheels, all the red accents, leather and Alcantara all over the inside with the red gauges and all. Doesn't have to be so show-offy, but I want something that's at least a little bit more together. For example, this particular version that I'm driving here doesn't even have the Sport Chrono. For me, it's just that those little touches that make a big difference. The inside of the car is a personal thing for me because that's what I'm gonna be seeing the whole time that I'm driving the car. Although, I feel like when you're going to the RS, besides the obvious more performance factors, it's more of an aesthetic thing. I mean, let's just face it. The RS just looks nasty compared to the regular GT3. So the price points on these RSs vary anywhere from 150,000 all the way to 200, really just depending on the specs, the miles, and how much people want for it. So the question is it really worth it, and should I do it? I mean, at this point, aesthetically alone, I like the car better. And if the numbers will work and I can get the right deal, I'll do it. And also, most important, I feel that the market will soften up on mine, as it already has a little bit, but this one is gonna remain stronger longer. So feel free to comment below if you think I should trade my GT3 for this RS. And also, don't forget to hit the notifications bell till it looks like this. And if you like this video, please like and share. Also, subscribe to our channel. My name is Eric. This is Watch Your Style.